My friends, have you ever stood before the ocean, watched its vastness stretch beyond sight, listened to its rhythm, and felt its calm power? There's something deeply spiritual about it. The ocean is not just water, it's a living wisdom. It whispers lessons about patience, humility, depth, and the beauty of flow. Today, let's dive deep into what the ocean can teach us about life. When you stand by the shore, you realize how small you are and how big the world truly is. Yet, that feeling isn't meant to make you insignificant. It's meant to awaken gratitude and perspective. The ocean reminds us that while we are small, we are part of something magnificently infinite. Life, like the ocean, cannot be controlled. It must be understood, respected, and flowed with. The ocean's first and most profound lesson is about depth. When we stand before it, our eyes often get captivated by the shimmering waves, the golden reflection of sunlight dancing on its surface. It's beautiful, mesmerizing even. But that is only what we see on the outside. The real wonder of the ocean lies not in its surface sparkle, but in its mysterious, boundless depth. Life is very much the same. We often chase surface, level beauty, appearance, status, possessions, validation, forgetting that what truly defines a person is their depth, their values, emotions, understanding, and integrity. Depth is where meaning lives. Think about it. On the surface, the ocean can be noisy, restless, even chaotic. But as you dive deeper, it becomes quieter, calmer, and more peaceful. The deeper you go, the less turbulence there is. Life works exactly that way. When we live only on the surface, we are easily disturbed by opinions, comparisons, and temporary circumstances. But when we cultivate depth through reflection, self-awareness, and faith, we discover a peace that cannot be shaken by life's surface storms. In our modern world, so many people are living in shallow waters. We measure success by what we can show, not by what we can feel. We seek validation through likes, attention, or admiration. Forgetting that real fulfillment doesn't come from what the world sees, it comes from what your soul feels. Just as the ocean doesn't reveal its treasures on the surface, the treasures of life, kindness, humility, patience, gratitude are found only when you go deeper within yourself. Depth also means understanding others beyond their surface. We live in a time when judgments are quick and empathy is rare. But every person, like the ocean, has layers unseen. Someone's silence may hold pain. Someone's anger may hide fear. Someone's distance may protect a broken heart. When you choose to look deeper, you stop reacting and start understanding. You stop labeling people and start loving them for their humanity. Another lesson from depth is consistency. The surface of the ocean changes with every wind, every wave, every passing storm, but its depths remain constant. In life, circumstances will shift. Relationships may change, careers may take turns, emotions may fluctuate. But when you are anchored in depth, you stay grounded no matter what happens around you. That depth comes from purpose, faith, and principles that do not waver with time. There's also a beautiful paradox about depth. It's invisible, yet it's what gives the ocean its power. Similarly, your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and spirit may not be visible to others, but it defines the energy you carry. People can sense depth in your presence. It's not in how much you speak, but in how deeply you listen. It's not in how loud you are, but in how much meaning your silence holds. Depth gives your life gravity. It draws people peace and purpose toward you naturally. So, my friend, don't be content living on the surface. Don't let your life be a shallow reflection that fades when the sun sets. Dive deeper. Spend time in solitude. Read, reflect, pray, meditate, observe life closely. The deeper you go, the more beautiful your world becomes. Because just like the ocean, your value is not determined by how you appear to others. It's defined by the depth of your soul. When we look at the ocean, one thing stands out. It is calm and majestic even when the waves roar and crash against the shore. From a distance, it might appear wild and uncontrollable, but beneath the surface lies a deep and steady stillness. That quiet depth remains untouched by the storms above. This simple yet profound reality teaches us an invaluable lesson about life. No matter how turbulent our circumstances may be, we must learn to stay calm within. In life, challenges come like waves, sometimes gentle and manageable, sometimes fierce and overwhelming. You might face disappointments, misunderstandings, failures, or heartbreaks. There are days when everything feels uncertain, when the tide of life pulls you in directions you never planned. But peace does not mean living without waves. It means maintaining calmness despite them. Just like the ocean, your strength lies not in avoiding storms, but in learning how to remain centered while they rage. Imagine standing at the shore during high tide. The waves crash with force, but after every surge, they retreat back to calm waters. The ocean never holds on to its turbulence forever. It rises, it falls, and then it rests. Similarly, every emotion, every hardship, every trial in life has its time. It will come and it will go. Holding on to anger, fear, or anxiety is like holding a wave that was meant to pass. The secret is to observe it, learn from it, and let it flow back into peace. When storms come, we often panic and lose our sense of control. But the truth is, peace is not something external that the world can give or take away. It's an internal state that you create. It's the quiet voice that says, "This too shall pass." You can't control the waves of life, but you can control how you surf them. Some people let the waves drown them in worry. Others learn to ride them with grace. The difference lies in emotional mastery, the ability to respond, not react. Even nature mirrors this truth. After a great storm, the ocean always returns to calm. The same pattern exists in our lives. No storm lasts forever, and no emotion is permanent. But to find that peace, we must dive deeper within ourselves. When we live on the surface, reacting to every small inconvenience, chasing every distraction, getting upset over every comment, We become restless, just like the choppy waves. But when we go inward, when we connect with our inner stillness, we find that space of serenity where no chaos can reach. Peace is also born from perspective. When you stand close to a wave, it feels enormous, but from a distance, it looks small and rhythmic. In life, when we step back and see the bigger picture, our problems lose their overwhelming size. That's the power of calmness. It allows you to see things clearly. In agitation, even small problems look gigantic. In peace, even big problems seem manageable. Calmness doesn't mean weakness. It means clarity, and clarity gives you strength. So, let the ocean remind you that you are not your waves. You are the vast depth beneath them. Your calmness is your power. When the storms of life rise, take a breath and remember, even the ocean's wildest surface rests upon still waters deep below. Find that stillness within yourself, and no matter how high the waves may rise, you will always return to peace. The ocean has a graceful way of moving. It never fights against what stands in its path. When it meets a rock, it flows around it. When it faces a cliff, it doesn't argue or resist. It simply adapts, curves, and continues its journey. That is one of the greatest lessons life offers us through the ocean. Flow, don't force. In a world where everyone is rushing, controlling, and resisting, the ocean reminds us that real strength is found in surrender, in adaptability, and in learning to move with life, not against it. Many people spend their entire lives struggling to control every outcome, every detail, and every situation. We want things to happen our way, on our timeline, and according to our expectations. But life rarely flows that neatly. Just like the ocean's waves, life has its own rhythm, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes calm, sometimes chaotic. The more we try to resist it, the more exhausted we become. But when we learn to flow, to accept, and to adjust, we discover a peace and strength that control can never give. Flowing doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that even when things don't go your way, there's a larger current guiding you towards something better. The ocean never stops moving. It just changes direction when it needs to. It knows that every turn, every obstacle is a part of its journey. Similarly, when life redirects you through rejection, loss, or delay, it's not punishing you. It's guiding you to a place you were meant to reach. Sometimes the detour is the direction. There's a beautiful wisdom in flexibility. The hardest tree breaks in a storm, but the soft grass bends and survives. The same applies to people. Those who are rigid, who cling tightly to control, often suffer the most when change comes. But those who are flexible, who can adjust and find meaning even in uncertainty, they thrive. They move through challenges with grace because they don't fight what they can't control. They trust and adapt. When you flow with life, you also learn the art of patience. The ocean doesn't rush to reach its destination. It takes its time, wave by wave. Everything unfolds when it's meant to. Forcing things often ruins their natural timing. Think about it. When you try to open a flower before it's ready, you destroy its beauty. Life is the same. What's meant for you will arrive when you're prepared to receive it. Flowing means aligning yourself with time instead of resisting it. Flow also teaches you faith. The ocean never doubts its course. It doesn't question whether it will meet the shore again. It just moves, knowing that every wave eventually finds its way home. When you flow, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That small shift turns obstacles into opportunities and struggles into lessons. Finally, flowing with life brings freedom. When you stop trying to control everything, you start to breathe again. You realize that you don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to trust the process. Like the ocean, you can face any rock, any storm, any tide, and still keep moving. Because when you flow, you are not defeated by life's changes, you are refined by them. And one day looking back, you'll realize that every twist, every turn, every wave was carrying you exactly where you were meant to be. The tides of the ocean move with perfect rhythm, rising and falling, retreating and returning again and again. No matter how many times the waves withdraw, they always find their way back to the shore. The ocean doesn't fight this cycle. It flows in complete harmony with it. And that is a profound reflection of life itself. Life, like the ocean, moves in cycles of highs and lows, abundance and scarcity, joy and sorrow, gain and loss. The lesson the ocean teaches us is simple yet powerful. Respect the tides of change. Everything in life has its time, its season, and its rhythm. We often resist change because it feels uncomfortable. We want the good times to last forever and the hard times to end quickly. But life doesn't work that way. Just as the ocean must experience both high tide and low tide, we too must face both prosperity and struggle. The challenge is to accept both with grace, to enjoy the highs without arrogance, and to endure the lows without despair. Change is not punishment, it's progress. Every season serves a purpose, even if we can't see it in the moment. When the tide goes out, the shore looks empty and bare. But that's when treasures are revealed. Shells, stones, and secrets hidden beneath the waves. In the same way, our low tides in life, our moments of emptiness or loss, often uncover the hidden wisdom and strength within us. When everything seems to be taken away, we discover what truly matters. The ebb of life strips away illusions so that we can see our core more clearly. And then, as surely as the tide returns, blessings come back, sometimes in new forms, sometimes in ways we never expected. The rhythm of life ensures that no season lasts forever. Happiness will come again, peace will return, and new beginnings will rise from what seemed like an ending. Trusting this rhythm is what gives us stability amid uncertainty. When we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, we stop fearing change and start flowing with it. The ocean doesn't rush the tide, it allows it to move in perfect timing. Similarly, we must learn patience to understand that What's meant to arrive will come when it's ready. There's a divine timing behind every rise and fall. Sometimes we're in a season of planting, other times in a season of harvesting. Sometimes we're being taught, and other times we're being tested. But every moment is necessary for the cycle of growth. There's also beauty in knowing that both tides, the high and the low, are essential. If the ocean never receded, the shore would flood. If it never rose, life along its edge would dry out. Balance exists because of movement. Likewise, if life were all joy, we would take it for granted. If it were all sorrow, we would lose hope. The shifting tides remind us that contrast gives life its meaning. We appreciate light because we've known darkness, and we value peace because we've faced storms. To respect the tides of change means to stop clinging, to stop fighting what is meant to move. Relationships may evolve, opportunities may fade, and dreams may transform. But each shift is a part of the grand rhythm of life. When we accept this truth, we stop drowning in resistance and start floating in trust. Just like the ocean never doubts its next wave, we must learn to trust that every ending in life makes way for a new beginning waiting on the horizon. The ocean is vast, powerful, and majestic, yet it is humble. It never boasts about its greatness, never demands attention, and never competes for recognition. Despite covering most of the earth, it silently nurtures life, holds mysteries, and moves with grace. This quiet humility is one of the ocean's greatest lessons for us. No matter how successful, knowledgeable, or accomplished we become, true greatness is found in humility. The deeper the ocean, the quieter it becomes, and the same is true for people. The deeper your understanding, the calmer and humbler your presence in life. We often mistake loudness for strength and visibility for importance. But just as the ocean's depth is hidden beneath its surface, real power lies beneath appearances. The ocean does not need to prove its depth, it simply is. Likewise, when you are truly confident and self-assured, you don't need to announce it to the world. People feel it in your presence. True humility doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It's about carrying strength without arrogance and success without pride. Humility allows us to keep learning. The moment we believe we know everything, growth stops. The ocean is always open to receiving, from rivers, from rain, from streams. It accepts water from everywhere without discrimination. In the same way, humble people remain open-minded, willing to learn from anyone, regardless of age, status, or background. They know that wisdom can come from a child's question, a stranger's story, or even from a mistake. Pride blocks growth, humility invites it. There's also beauty in how the ocean interacts with its surroundings. When waves reach the shore, they bow down before it. The ocean, in all its power, lowers itself humbly at the feet of the land. This act of surrender symbolizes the balance between strength and softness. Being humble doesn't make you weak. It makes you balanced. It means you can be strong when needed and gentle when required. People who embody humility don't need to dominate. They influence through kindness and grace. Another powerful aspect of humility is gratitude. The ocean gives life to countless species, but never demands acknowledgement. It doesn't seek applause for what it provides. Likewise, when we live with humility, we do good without expecting reward. We serve, we give, we help, not for validation, but because it's the right thing to do. Humility makes us grateful for what we have and respectful toward what others bring into our lives. It reminds us that no matter how high we rise, we are all dependent on forces greater than ourselves. Time, nature, destiny, or divine will. When pride enters, relationships break and peace fades. But humility builds bridges, heals wounds, and draws people closer. You'll notice that the most peaceful people you meet are often the most humble ones. They don't need to prove their worth. They live it quietly. Their energy comforts others instead of competing with them. That's the kind of presence humility brings. It's not loud, but it's deeply felt. So, when life blesses you with success, recognition, or wisdom, remember the ocean. Stay grounded, stay kind, and stay real because humility is not about lowering your worth. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't need to show it off. The ocean's vastness doesn't need to be announced. It's known through its calm strength. Likewise, your greatness will never come from how high you rise, but from how gracefully you bow. The ocean accepts every river that flows into it. It doesn't question where the water comes from, whether it's from a clear mountain stream, a muddy delta, or a polluted city channel. It opens its arms to all and transforms everything into one vast body. That simple act of acceptance carries a profound lesson for us to hold space for everyone. In a world divided by judgments, opinions, and differences, the ocean reminds us of the power of inclusion, empathy, and unconditional acceptance. Too often, we close ourselves off to people because they don't look like us, think like us, or live like us. We build invisible walls around our hearts, deciding who is worthy of our kindness and who is not. But the ocean teaches us a higher truth, that every drop has a story and every soul has a place. Each river that merges with the ocean brings something unique, a different texture, a different color, a different journey. And yet, once it joins the ocean, all differences dissolve into oneness. Life becomes more peaceful when we live with that same openness, when we stop labeling and start understanding. Acceptance doesn't mean agreeing with everything or everyone. It means respecting that each person has their own path, their own lessons, their own struggles. Just like rivers, people come from different backgrounds, shaped by their circumstances. When we judge them for where they came from, we miss the beauty of who they are becoming. The ocean doesn't purify a river before welcoming it. It cleanses it through connection. Likewise, love and compassion have the power to heal, not judgment or rejection. When you hold space for others, you create an environment where people feel safe to be themselves. Think about how calm you feel near the ocean. You can speak, reflect, or simply exist in its presence without fear of being judged. That's what happens when someone has a heart like the ocean. They bring peace to others just by being there. Their energy says, "You belong here, exactly as you are." That kind of presence doesn't just comfort others, it transforms them. Many of us crave to be understood, but how often do we truly listen to understand others? The ocean listens. It absorbs the rain, the waves, the whispers of the wind, yet it never interrupts. When we practice listening like that, without the need to respond or correct, we begin to connect on a soul level. People don't need our opinions as much as they need our presence. To hold space is to say, "I may not have your answers, but I am here for you." There's also humility in holding space for everyone. It requires us to look beyond ourselves and our egos. When we accept others, we soften the edges of our own pride. We realize that everyone we meet is fighting a battle we cannot see, and that sometimes love means simply being kind when it's least expected. Just as the ocean's vastness allows it to receive everything without overflowing, an open heart allows us to give love without losing ourselves. The world needs more people who love like the ocean, without conditions, without limits, without judgment. When you hold space for others, you don't just make their lives better, you expand your own soul, because the more love you give, the more your capacity to love grows. And just like the ocean that turns every drop into something vast and beautiful, you too can turn every act of compassion into a tide that heals and connects the world. The ocean receives everything that flows into it. Rivers, rain, debris, and even pollution. Yet in its vastness, it continues to cleanse, purify, and renew itself. Despite what it absorbs, it never loses its essence. This quality of transformation teaches us an important lesson: cleanse, don't contaminate. In life, we will constantly encounter negativity, criticism, envy, betrayal, gossip, anger. But what defines us is not what comes our way, but what we do with it. Just as the ocean doesn't allow impurities to define its depth, we too must not allow negativity to define our spirit. Every day, we are surrounded by energies, some uplifting, others draining. People may say hurtful things. Situations may disappoint us, and challenges may test our patience. It's easy to react, to let bitterness or anger take over. But reacting to negativity with more negativity only deepens the pollution. The ocean doesn't throw the dirt back. It processes it silently and restores balance. That's what emotional maturity looks like. Having the strength to absorb pain, process it with grace, and release peace back into the world. There is great wisdom in being like the ocean, unshaken by what enters it. When you're grounded in your values and centered in your peace, you stop being easily influenced by outside forces. Someone's harsh words can touch your surface, but they can't reach your depth. It's not that you become indifferent, you simply choose not to mirror their negativity. You respond, not react. You reflect, not retaliate. This ability to stay composed amid chaos is what keeps your spirit pure. The world is full of people who carry emotional toxins, resentment, jealousy, and insecurity, and often they unconsciously pass those energies to others. But you have the power to break that chain. Instead of spreading the poison further, you can be the one who filters it. When someone brings anger, respond with calmness. When they bring rudeness, answer with grace. When they try to hurt, show compassion. It's not about letting others walk over you. It's about refusing to let them pull you down to their level. Like the ocean, you can remain vast enough to transform whatever enters you. Cleansing doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. The ocean doesn't pretend that waste doesn't exist. It simply knows how to manage it. Similarly, acknowledging pain is essential, but dwelling on it is not. Feel what you need to feel. Anger, sadness, frustration, but then release it. Don't let it stay long enough to turn into bitterness. The longer you hold on to negativity, the more it clouds your inner clarity. Let your heart, like the waves, cleanse itself continuously. Purity is not about never being touched by negativity. It's about not letting negativity stay. You can walk through a world full of darkness and still keep your light shining. Just as the ocean remains blue, despite all that flows into it, you too can remain kind, loving, and centered despite life's difficulties. When you let go of grudges and forgive, you free yourself from emotional pollution. Forgiveness is your cleansing tide. It washes away the heaviness and restores peace. Ultimately, in the cleansing instead of contaminating is about responsibility. The responsibility to protect your inner world. You cannot always control what enters your life, but you can control what stays. Be like the ocean vast, open and pure. Let whatever comes your way be transformed into wisdom, strength, and serenity. Because the moment you learn to cleanse, instead of react, you stop being affected by the world and start affecting it with your peace. The ocean is never still. It is always in motion. Its waves rise and fall. Its tides advance and retreat. And its currents flow endlessly, shaping coastlines and nurturing life. This ceaseless movement keeps the ocean alive, vibrant, and powerful. The moment it would stop flowing, it would begin to decay. And in that natural rhythm lies a deep truth about life. Keep moving, because stagnation brings decay. When you stop growing, stop learning, stop exploring, you begin to lose the energy and purpose that make life meaningful. In life, we all face moments where we feel stuck, when our plans fall apart, when motivation fades, or when fear paralyzes us. It's easy to stay still, to cling to comfort, and to wait for perfect conditions. But the ocean teaches us that movement itself creates clarity. Waves don't wait for permission to rise, they move, and through that movement, they create beauty. Similarly, we must not wait for the perfect moment to act. We must create momentum, however small, and trust that direction will appear through action. Progress begins with movement. Many people believe that peace means being still, but in reality, peace is a balanced flow. Even the calmest sea is moving underneath. True peace comes when you keep moving without resistance, when your actions align with purpose. The more you flow toward what matters, the more alive you feel. Motion brings growth, stagnation breeds doubt, fear, and regret. When we resist change, we grow restless. But when we move with life, we discover strength we didn't know we had. Growth doesn't always mean drastic change. It can be as gentle as learning something new each day, reflecting on your experiences, or developing a better attitude toward challenges. Like the ocean, not every wave needs to be big, small. Consistent movements have the power to shape even the hardest rocks over time. The key is consistency, continuing to move forward no matter how small the steps seem. Even a small current can eventually lead to deep transformation. Movement also means emotional and spiritual flow. Many people carry emotional pain or resentment for years, allowing it to stagnate within them. The ocean doesn't hold on to what no longer serves it. It releases, renews, and keeps flowing. We must learn to do the same, to let go of what is heavy, to forgive, to heal, and to move forward. Holding on to the past is like trapping yourself in still water. It loses freshness, clarity, and life. When you let go, your heart becomes like the sea, open, clear, and free. Change is often uncomfortable, and that's why many people avoid it. But growth and comfort rarely coexist. The ocean is constantly reshaping itself, eroding cliffs, shifting sands, creating new paths. Every wave that hits the shore changes it just a little. Life works the same way. Every challenge, every experience reshapes you. If you resist it, you remain the same. But if you embrace it, you evolve. The beauty of the ocean lies in its ability to adapt. And so does the beauty of life. Movement also brings renewal. When the ocean flows, it cleanses itself and everything it touches. Likewise, when you keep moving mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you release what's toxic and invite what's fresh. That's how creativity is born, how purpose deepens, and how joy returns. So, never let your spirit become still out of fear or comfort. Be like the ocean, keep flowing, keep learning, keep growing. Because the essence of life is not to remain where you are, but to keep moving toward who you are meant to become.